to introduce you to our first guest today. But first, a little bit about Tenure Talks. So we take the same 5 questions every single week to our audience. We ask our guests the same 5 questions. You get those solid answers right back. It's perfect bits of great expertise from leading experts in the space. I'm so excited to introduce you to our guest, Anthony Clervi of Una. Thank you so much for joining us today, Anthony. How are you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me, Katie.
Good, good. Yeah, I'm glad that you were able to join us today. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your current role and what you're doing at Una right now.
So Anthony Clervi, I hate titles, but President and CEO of Una, and we are a group purchasing organization, or that's what Una is. I think on LinkedIn I have growth advocate. I'm just, as my title, just for fun. But I'm married. I've been married for just over 5 years. I've got 2 kiddos. I've got almost a 3-year-old boy and a 6-month-old girl. And like others, I'm trying to figure out how to do life at the home office with 2 little ones. Una's been around for almost a decade plus, and it's a group purchasing organization. We help companies save money on how they buy various products and services. And we love what we do. We love our members. We love our supplier partners. And it's been a lot of fun. I think we're just getting going.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations on all the babies and the marriage. And
yeah,
it seemed like the last 5 years have been pretty crazy for you. How long has Una been around?
I think we say they exist since 2012. We've had a handful of names prior to that. I came on. What's been fun? It's a family business, which I'm happy to share. We've got some other investors. It was a turnaround opportunity. I knew nothing about the group purchasing space. I didn't go to school for the group purchasing space, or that I was going to be in procurement or supply chain or sourcing. And fortunately now we've got such a great team. They're just, honestly, they're just propelling us to the next level, whether it be our messaging or how we're servicing our members or different contracts or technology that we're using. So it's been a lot of fun. And unfortunately, this crisis we're in has created a lot of opportunities. So there's a lot of conversation around GPOs and how to use this and work with us. So we think it's a really good time just to take an educational opportunity. Yeah, it's been fun. I think, again, we're just getting started.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, it's a great time to be in this space for sure. So what's a mentor or coach or someone, maybe even a boss, that really inspired your path to success?
Well, talking about unique, I've been fired 3 times, which I don't brag. I'm not saying that braggingly. I don't recommend that process. But as far as, I'm going to cheat a little bit. My parents raised me really well. They're both educators, secondary education. My mom taught horseback riding. My father was an art professor and led departments. And they just instilled in me hard work, social skills, empathy, love, believe it or not. And that really helped me in building relationships, which I think is one of my key skill sets. And probably is why my wife said yes, which is definitely my best sale yet. So I have to give credit to my wife, Michelle, who's been a rock and fortunately puts up with me. She always jokes. So I'm the youngest of all my siblings, but technically my dad was previously married, had 3 kids, and then married my mom. And that was like 40 years ago. I'm thinking I'm dating them a little bit, which is awesome. I look up to that. 40 years strong in marriage. But Michelle says, my wife, you act like an only child. So so there's been some unique experiences. What's fun and why I bring that up, the oldest brother actually is who I'm a partner with. And so to answer your question, he's been an inspiration. He's a little bit older, 16 and a half years. I'm going to date him a little bit. We always joke, or he jokes, that we're twins, which is more of a benefit for him. But
bless his heart.
Yeah, bless his heart. I mean, he's tall. He's got the silver, he's the gray fox, but he's got olive skin. And here I am, 6'4" redhead. So I'm like, eh. And Matt owns another company called Fresh Ideas, and he's brought me in and really helped Una get going in the early stages where it is today, helped us get it to where we are today, and has just always been a big brother, a mentor, a leader. Not so much maybe what he says, although that's always insightful, more about what he does and how he's built his organization. He's married, has a couple kids, but has been, he probably doesn't even know that. I don't know if he would know. So this might be the first time that he hears that. I hope not, but it'll be live and it'll be out there in the intranet.
Uh-oh. Well,
Uh-oh.
maybe this will incentivize you to write some thank you notes after this to
There you
mom and
go.
dad and brother and thank them
I'm
for
on it.
paving the way.
Yep.
Because they had to put up with you, right?
Yes, they still do. But yes, yes.
So what's the most innovative thing you're seeing in the space right now?
So within group purchasing, I would say there's an extraordinary opportunity for a little bit more innovation. I'll say within sourcing and supply chain, you see a lot of like SAP and big data companies. They're not focusing on spend analytics. There's been some fun, I think, really innovative spend analytics tools that I've seen that plug in with these big ERP systems. I won't name names, but I think it's been entertaining to see the different approach of data. Data is such an issue, I think, for sourcing. We call them at Una sourcing heroes. How do you understand the data? What does it mean? How do you drive compliance, transparency, accountability with suppliers? So there's a few folks out there that are doing some fun things with that technology that it's sexy and not clunky. So
And it's easy to use and easy to
easy to
navigate, I'm
use,
sure.
right? Yep, easy to use. And I think from what I've seen shows, the hardest thing with speed to savings, speed of service, all the fancy terms. How do I manage, the contract management after the deal has been done, strictly, writing a new contract, and how do I make sure and ensure the savings? So I've seen some tools that help with that. I'll tell you, there's some fun companies coming out of Canada. I don't know, they must just be bored and they just think of all the fun different ways they can come up with new technology. I don't know, that I'm telling you, Canada is where it's at with technology.
Well, maybe that's what it is. Maybe they are just bored. They just,
Yeah.
things are
I was going
slower
to
up
make a
there.
maple syrup and hockey comment. I love Canadians, but anyway,
Well, there's a plug from Mark Ruffin,
there you go.
our, our Canadian friend.
What is it? He likes bourbon, but doesn't like scotch.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
And then you had a better panel than he did in some conference, right?
Yeah, he was pretty bitter about that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I just
yeah.
wanted to get that on record, but yeah, we love you, Mark.
We love you, Mark. Stay cool in Canada.
Cool.
So what's one unique thing about you that folks in this space don't really know about you?
In this space, I mean, it could be as simple as I can juggle. I have red hair,
Oh,
which
well,
is
that's
cool,
impressive.
which is cool now because 30 years ago, red hair was not cool. I'll say this is probably the real one. I have jumped out of an airplane and I got my father-in-law to do it to kind of celebrate me marrying his daughter. I don't know how he did it. I don't know why he did it, but we did it and it was a lot of fun.
Well, that's
I don't know if
awesome.
I'd do it again, but hanging out over an airplane at 15,000 feet, that was different.
Maybe he wasn't thinking he was gonna land. Maybe he found out you were marrying his daughter and he was like, you know what, let's just bite it.
Yeah, let's just bite it. Yeah.
Just
He had a great time. It was the guy that I jumped with, his name was Bag Lock.
bag luck.
Like literally his bag has locked when he's jumped out. Now you get a spare chute, but I'm like, I'm jumping with you because you have to do tandem because you're a newbie. You basically watch all these videos about and sign your life away about how you're going to fall to your death, and somehow you sit there for 2 hours, sign everything away, and it's still an enjoyable experience. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So how did you convince your father-in-law to jump out of an airplane?
Well, one, I think I paid for it, and two, we played golf afterwards. And he's a little bit of a daredevil experience type guy, so probably a little similarities between us that maybe made my wife think, maybe I could do life with this guy. But yeah, no, he's pretty even keel. Loves to take risks. He's got a great consulting business, and we hit it off when we first met.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And what a great way to just kind of seal the relationship,
Right?
almost dying together.
Let's just jump out of an airplane. Why not at 15,000 feet?
Yeah, and play around a golf afterwards. That sounds like a perfect day.
Yeah.
So what's one piece of advice you would give to people that are clawing up the ranks, wanting to find success in business and entrepreneurship?
So I tell people, and I tell this to our team too, think about what you want and then plan on getting that over the next 30 years. So the short word is patience, which I have none. I'm macro think patient, I think it was Vaynerchuk says macro think patient, but in the micro hustle. And I'm a huge fan of that. So patience, like practically, what does that mean? What I'll kind of just tag on to that is there's nothing, you never know who you're going to meet. And I'd say the power of social media, like we met over LinkedIn, and just the power of relationships. People like to do business with people that they like.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not saying, you want to be steak and sizzle. Steak is you're going to execute and get stuff done. But there is a little bit of sizzle of getting to know folks and learning and asking good questions. So relationships are so critical. And you don't have to go to some big Ivy League school or know all the most popular people online. But it's amazing, especially in sourcing and supply chain. And we'll throw in group purchasing, which I think plays a role within a procurement strategy. The family gets tight in a hurry. And so and I would argue that every area of business, whatever you're trying to do or accomplish as an individual, professional guy or gal, it's surprising how that community gets really tight. And so if there's a way that you can get in there and find a way to add value and get to know folks and just be real and not ask for a bunch of things, it's amazing how many people maybe want to help you. So I guess that would be my third thing, mentorship. I'm a big believer in mentors. Just remember that, it's not going to be that. I don't believe in a well-rounded individual. I don't even know what that means, but I think you can find certain things from mentors if you know what you're looking for and just focus on that rather than the imperfections of the human. So relationships, mentorship, be patient. And everybody says this, but it goes hand in hand with patience, and you just work your ass off.
Mm-hmm.
And stop comparing yourself to other people. I could keep going on this one, and it's hard to do. Compare yourself where you were a year ago, and there isn't a secret. There's no shortcut. Anybody that has any ounce of success will tell you that. You try to have fun. I mean, life's short. I'm not going to come back as a tree. This is it. So make the best of it.
Yes, exactly. Oh, I love that. And relationships are so important, and relationships kind of filter into all those things. It takes patience with relationships. It takes, with hard work, you have to have good people around you that you have, strong skills with and networking that you can partner with and move forward. So how has it been since COVID maintaining your relationships in this space? Are you relying a lot on
It's been a challenge, Katie.
I know. Do you miss shaking hands?
Yeah, just air fiving our elbows or getting, things are opening up a little bit here in Kansas City, and everybody's got their own view of COVID and this pandemic. And I think I've been telling some people, I don't know if it's on podcasts or just in general, there needs to be like a COVIDism, like fun PDF. There's some, in these changing times, in these unprecedented times, there's like 10 lines that somebody should just come out with, and it would just be killer content.
I know.
I'm about zoomed out, to be honest, but I like Zoom. I think it's great, and nothing beats the face-to-face, but I think it's going to speed up the sales process and like relationship building. People are just forced into more of these Zooms. Like, I wouldn't have met you. Like,
right.
But yeah, LinkedIn, I think it just forces this new dynamic. In times of crisis, over communication is the best, as long as it's clear, concise, and consistent. Mm-hmm. So we've been over communicating to our teams, I think, and just trying to look for little ways. We did a fun thing here in June. We announced it like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I know we're not the only organization to do this, that just take Friday off. So everybody gets every Friday off in June at UNA. And we did a work from home policy for the rest of the year. It'll probably just be ongoing. We already had a pretty flexible. So, if you're hiring adults and you can't trust them like adults, what are you doing? So it's been challenging. It's a lot of FaceTime with grandparents. And, because the older population, I think, has to be pretty careful about some of this, but we're just playing ball and trying not to, deal. I'm waiting for my 2-year-old to run around the corner here. So it's live. We're in it. We're in the real thick of it. And
we're in it. If they come in, they're a part of the show now. So that's okay.
Yeah.
Welcome on in.
Paul's a ham. I think he would like it too much.
It'll give a little ounce of fame, might go to his head.
Yeah, still early.
Well, that's great though. It was great meeting you. Thank you so much for your advice to young people that are clawing up the ranks. I think it was very helpful. Thank you so much for joining the show. I appreciate everyone who tuned in today for today's Tenure Talk podcast. I hope that y'all go out there and have a very blessed week. And thank you again, Anthony, for joining as our host.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you so much.
See ya.